What's up, guys? What's up, guys? We back at it again. You already know it's the pre-snap read, and
Hey
we
yo.
we we live at 5. We back. We full in effect. You already know what it is, man. I think we got it's probably like 80 days or 79 days to college football week 0. So you already know
So
we
excited.
we
Soon
we
and
ready.
very soon.
We ready soon and very soon. We are going to see the king.
The team.
No.
The
Oh yeah,
team.
the
Hey
team.
yo.
Soon and
And
very
very
soon.
soon.
Dum dum
We
dum.
are going to whoop Jackson State ass. Oh, my bad. Hold
Dum
up.
dum 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 dum.
but,
Lord,
Dirk said now wait
anyway,
a
listen,
minute.
but
not you cuss on the
anyways,
Lord's song.
anyways, I got my two lovely co-hosts, my best friends. You already know I got that dog down there, Jerry Goodson.
Hey, there.
Shoot, and I got the lovely lady. I'm gonna call her the mouth of the South. You know, the lady of the South, the mouth of the South.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
already know she from the little boot. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
Little
Riley
boo.
McGee.
You
ooh.
heard me?
Yeah, you already know. So we live in full effect, man. We're gonna have a good show today. You already know how we roll. Robin gonna start it off real strong.
All right, so we're gonna jump into the hottest college news kind of going on right now with the NIL Summit. So it started on June 13th, wrapped up today. And I think that they're still actually doing some activities and events right now. But for people who don't really know about the NIL Summit, so it was created and built by student athletes for student athletes, right? And so it's a multi-day professional development experience. And this is just, coming straight from the site. There's so many different people within the professional world of either college athletics or our pro athletics. We have like ESPN broadcasters are there. Current players, former players are coming to speak to these athletes. Also, it's to showcase kind of and highlight the accomplishments of our college athletes, and just allow them to kind of come together and build relationships, across different sports, within their sports, and just a really great opportunity for them to collaborate with each other. And specifically with this summit, there is a College Football Hall of Fame. And specifically within this College Football Hall of Fame, if people didn't know, there's actually an HBCU exhibit that is associated. So this exhibit features so many different artifacts and interactive videos that's highlighting marching bands, homecomings, historical rivals, right? And it's centrally this community of leaders that come together and provide like just a different look at our HBCUs, what they have to offer. And so speaking of that, we did hear that FAMU actually was able to be at this event. And Ryan, you could share a little bit about like their association with the College Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. So, like Robin said, they went there this weekend. It mainly was a learning experience and just
Yeah.
experience in whole for our football team as far as FAMU. So, just them learning about, how to do an NIL deal, how to get one, what are the ways to get an NIL, even if you're a star player on the team or you're not a star player on the team. So there's certain avenues, there's certain ways you can go about getting that NIL deal without being a superstar or without, doing the necessary things you need to do on the field. There's a way more stuff you can do off the field too to just get that NIL deal. It's grades, what you do in the community, just certain things like that they was learning, and they can take it to the other teammates and definitely their coaches and to other student athletes that didn't attend. So it can really help as a whole, just trying to make everybody eat, if you want to say in a certain way. So I think it was a good weekend for them. They got to see a lot of people. I know they sat down there. I know they talked to Tim Tebow. I mean, he's, how motivational speaker he is. He's a college football legend for anybody. If you ever saw Tim Tebow play at Florida,
Right.
FAMU actually did I think FAMU played him once upon a time when he was at Florida. So, but just being there in that moment, I know they soaked it all up. I hit one of the coaches up. They said, the players received it well. They loved it. They want to come back next year.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting. I didn't really know too much about the NIL Summit prior to like looking into it for this show. But what I understand is that like the institutions get to nominate their student athletes to come and represent their athletic department. And then they'll kind of like take whatever the information that they've learned from the summit back to their institutions or their teams, whatever have you. Now, my question to you guys is kind of like the broad spectrum of this is to allow our student athletes to learn more, especially when, like you said, just the overall NIL deals. What does that mean to them? How can they capitalize? What to stay away from, what to get into. But I also like in kind of linking from a perspective of like, okay, what if those athletes that were nominated, weren't able to go, or maybe they weren't able to really grasp the full concept learned from their teammates and stuff. Like, could it be beneficial for us to have maybe like a mini clinic, that like maybe they have different facets of this NIL summit to like visit different institutions, like we've had, for instance, our team had a mental health specialist come in and talk, and granted, like it was very, very beneficial for our team specifically, but our other sports were able to capitalize and be able to use them and like set up time for them to come and talk to their teams or talk to their coaches and things like that. So I wonder, what do you guys think? Could that be something that maybe in the future, like the NIL Summit can have like representatives or ambassadors to like, whoever wasn't able to either go to the summit or maybe wasn't at whatever meeting that they had about it, be able to have those relationships and go out and visit teams and sports and coaches and athletes to talk more about this, especially in how prevalent it is because our athletes have more opportunities to get these NIL deals.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great idea. I think what we did this previous Tuesday was a good start. Having a one location summit. It was a lot of good people there. You talked about Tim Tebow. Triple H was actually speaking there too. But I think what would be even a better step is what you said. Even if the university has to pay for that, that is something that is very beneficial for these student athletes. If one person comes, especially like during a summer workout, because you got summer camp for when football starts in the fall around August. I think August 1st is usually when camp usually starts, if I'm not mistaken. So he can representative could come during that time period because the teams are going to be there anyway.Ey're going to stay for a whole week, a whole 2 weeks on campus, so they have to be there. So they can come and speak to the team. That'll be really beneficial and help them with the financial literacy of that aspect of NIL.
Yeah, that's a good point you make, Jerry, that they're already going to be there because I know that's always the factor when you are an administrator to think about people from different sports being all in one area or just the entire team rather because like football, because there's so many members a part of the team, like you want to adhere to every single team member. So like doing it like that, like doing it during camp, or for other sports who may not have camps that are parallel to football, like do it at the beginning, like how everybody has to go through their like physicals or have to go through like compliance meetings. Like every athlete has to go through that. That's a part of their process. And so now that these athletes are, having the opportunity to get NIL deals in college, that should be a part of their process too, to help them understand and learn. Because how many athletes probably are out there, figuring out they have the capability of getting these deals, but they may not have the resources or they may not know how to start those conversations or have people to advocate for them. Right. So it's awesome to have this summer, but it's also like, we want to keep building up on it. What I'm saying.
I think it opened a huge door of many different possibilities of what they can do now. What they can do that's going to be better than what they're doing now. Talking about how to get one. I really want to educate them on how to keep that money and how to use that. We got a lot of kids, a lot of pro athletes now that's going bankrupt. So if we can kind of incorporate that of how to manage money into that little time frame to kind of give them a bits and pieces. If you start off as a freshman and you're doing it 4 years in a row, by the time they're a senior, they will know a little bit about how to manage money.
True. That's very true. Especially for our HBCU athletes. Like we're starting to see a lot more HBCU athletes. We're going to talk about that later of someone, Hampton young man, football player, getting an NIL deal with WWE. Like, it's since they are now having this even playing field, it's definitely still got to grow. We still got to do more than these PWIs, but still, like, they're growing. That education piece is very essential for them, for the whole athletic department, not even just for the athletes. Because as a coach, I want to know and make sure that my athletes are taken care of as well. Because the coaches really are not in that relationship between the NIL deal companies and then the athletes. That's strictly for them. But there are, our coaches are like our second parents or our second teachers. So a lot of them have really great relationships with their coaches, and they're probably gonna be like, "Hey, coach, like, what do you think about this?" And if the coach doesn't know anything, like, it's like how that could have been a really great opportunity for them to help them through that process. And if you don't know, it's like, well, it's the blind leading the blind out here. You know what I mean? So even just thinking about it further, specifically for our HBCU athletic departments, that'll be really huge if they can be able to do that in the future. So.
Definitely. And like, just to piggyback off of you, Robin, like, all of us went to FAM. We have a bank at FAMU. We literally have a bank where kids can go and have their own bank account and walking distance. Why not use the people at that bank to teach these athletes how to use their money to put in the bank, put in the savings, show them how to invest in themselves. I wouldn't necessarily invest in other things, but invest in yourselves so you can get a car. So you can get certain things that you need to get. But, just doing those certain things, just doing those little steps will help you a long way.
Absolutely. But yeah, it seemed like it was a great, event. So shout out to everybody that was delegated, all the student athletes and everybody that participated. So moving on, of course, we got to talk about JSU and Coach Prime week 15.
Another
he's
week,
back at it again.
This Joker has got the best streak ever. The best streak ever.
Hey, man.
Can't even lie. Like, the man, Coach Prime, his son, Shador, and 5-star quarterback Travis Hunter has graced the cover of Sports Illustrated, which is huge to have an HBCU athletic program. It doesn't even matter who it is at this point. Like, athletic program gracing the cover of Sports Illustrated. It's big. Deion Sanders is coming on here and he was like, he basically saying he rebuilt Jackson State, and he's looking for the next rival throughout his journey at Jackson State. And it's huge to see, such a culminating experience for him to get to JSU, not only have all of the different things that he's implemented, right, from jerseys, having names on the back of them, from them, trying to figure out what is the best competition for them to get the best exposure, to be on ESPN for, their spring game, all of those things. He's just tracking. And then boom, I think this is well deserving of him. People can have their opinion about, Deion Sanders is just doing this because he's Deion Sanders. I'm like, but hey, he's still carrying, Jackson State with him. He's not on that cover by himself, right? And he's also not just with his son. Like, he has his 5-star recruit, Travis Hunter, on there. You know what I mean? Like, that's incredible. And this is following the whole controversy of Nick Saban saying what he's saying. And I'm like, if this don't shut y'all up, I don't know what will. So shout out to, Deion Sanders doing the damn thing. I don't know. What you guys think about this?
This is huge. My family has been always a subscriber to Sports Illustrated. I have a heavily background of sports in my family, so I don't think I've ever seen. I've asked my pops. I don't think he's ever seen an HBCU on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
It's been Jerry. It's been two. I think. Hold on. Steve McNair was on the cover. Then the coach from Grambling.
I have a question about Steve McNair. Was he on there representing his HBCU, or he was just on as a player?
He was on.
He was on there at Alcorn State.
Yeah, he was on there at Alcorn State. There's only 4 FCS schools that been on the cover. Is Jackson State, Alcorn State, Appalachian State. Hold on, did I say Jackson State, Alcorn State, Grambling, and Appalachian State. Those are the 4 schools that have been on the cover as far as Sports Illustrated, as far as the FCS school.
And if
Now,
that's what
3
if
of
that
them is
happens
SBC.
when
I
he
see
was in
him.
school,
I see him on there. It says, hand him the Heisman, quarterback Steve McNair of Alcorn State. Here's my thing though. Wait. Okay. Can you pull this up? Pull this up, Ron, and let's compare and contrast as we have in this conversation, because I'm very interested in seeing, the difference between the two of Steve McNair and Coach Prime and Shador and Travis's their picture. Because one thing I will say, and I'm kind of leaning on Jerry's, it's like, yeah, they was probably on there, but I think this particular one makes more of a statement. You know what I mean? Like, it's the attention is not just on the players or not just on the coaches. I think overall as well, because they're just so plastered with Jackson State on there, I think makes it even a bigger, accomplishment for HBCU's representation. Which is interesting, because, like, not to take away from those that were on there, but I'm also like, to have it like this, to see, Tigers, Jackson State, JSU, like, from each of them, Coach Prime with his little J hat on, I think that's like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's more heavy.
It ain't just one person. It's just not. It's 3 people like representing that university. And I mean, think about it. When who was that? McNair, when he played, that was in '94.
So
that was in '94 when he was on the cover.
This is McNair, right here. Yeah, that's McNair right there.
That was released September 26, 1994.
Yeah.
Was that the last one since Jackson State?
Well, for HBCU, yeah. HBCU, yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a long time. That's like what, 28 years?
28.
27, 28 years,
yeah.
Some of us on here weren't even born then.
I was not. I
Right.
came out 2 years after. But no, that's it. That's crazy. That's like, again, looking at comparing and contrasting, it's a huge statement, not even just for Jackson State, but just for HBCUs in general. Granted, we, shout out to Steve McNair, Alcorn, but even still 27, 28 years since then. And now we, like, imagine how many times we've had the opportunities, like, bam, you could have been on Sports Illustrated with all the things that they've done. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So
yeah.
I like where it is, but I want to see more. Want to see more of it. That's all I'm saying.
So one more thing I wanted to mention, like, you got to realize, like, this is really, people don't realize how big this is. Sports Illustrated has more than 3 million subscribers to their magazine. So if you're not watching Dion or JSU on, if you don't see them on ESPN getting highlighted here and there, or you're not really following HBCUs, and you're following a magazine that you subscribe to, this is something that you're going to have to look at. You're going to have to read. When you get your mail, you're going through your mail. Oh, JSU, what is that? Who is Jackson State? I know who Dion is, but who is this? Why is he on the cover with Jackson State? And this is going to bring them a lot of attention. They already have a lot of attention, but this is going to bring, like, at least double the attention they already got.
That is true.
Definitely.
That's very true.
But yeah, testing to Jerry, like, when I was young, Sports Illustrated was everything. Like, I remember LeBron being on the cover, Jordan being on the cover, Allen Iverson being on the cover. Like, you wanted to be those people that was on the cover of Sports Illustrated when you was a little kid. You see Serena Williams on the cover, you be like, oh snap, Serena on the cover, blah 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 blah. And just the magnitude of just that person on the cover. Tom Brady, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, like, those names grace the cover of the magazine. And now you can really say I grace the cover of a magazine where all the greats was on.
So That magazine was so influential in my household, man. I subscribed like when I was a kid. They subscribed me to Sports Illustrated for
He
kids.
said, "I subscribe."
They had the kids version, dog. You used to get a poster. Like I got LeBron poster, I got a John Wall poster, I got everybody Serena Williams poster, and they gave you like little cards and all that, bro. So dog, this is huge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is like think about this, because it may not happen for, I ain't gonna say it may not happen for a long time, but it's gonna be a minute for something like this to happen. So think about your like kids that's growing up now, that's be older and get to tell their kids about Jackson State and prime time and the battles they had against FAMU and the battles they had against South Carolina State and the battles they had against Alcorn. Like those are the stories you listen to when you're a little kid. Like you'd be like, oh snap, now I want to go to HBCU just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you know.
Speaking on that, man, it's a lot of like when especially when your parents or your relative that you look up to go to HBCU, when they got stories like that, it's like, hey, I want to be a part of that culture. So let me go ahead and join and go to Jackson State so I can join in on the conversations at the cookout. So it's like an invitation, like, hey, oh, you went to HBCU? All right, yeah, come on, you good, but
right.
PWI,
Hey man, I went to my LSSW. We had a good time there, but also there's nothing like an HBCU. But no, listen, that you bring up a very good point as far as like having parents or having like relatives or whoever you look up to in your circle that can be able to invite you into that environment, you know, and to be an advocate for those spaces. Because to be very honest with you, like had it not been my parents who both went to HBCUs, I don't know if I would have immediately looked in that way. Now, granted, my circumstances were different because athletically, but like even still, I was so always centered around HBCU life. Like it was rooted in my dad, it was rooted in my mom, and like everything we did that was like, you know, family functions, everybody that was there had either went to an HBCU, knew somebody at an HBCU, and it's very key to continue that going. But in addition, to have these type of accomplishments only adds on to that impact of other people coming in and knowing about it. So I mean, that's a really good point. Like like really, whether you like JSU or not, you gonna know about JSU. You know, like it is what it is at this point. And that's like the perfect, you know, I feel like trailblazing for that department or that institution to have for them is to just be known. Like that's how all the other schools get the recognition they have. Like not everybody like Harvard, but everybody know about Harvard. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going, but everybody know where Harvard at. Everybody know what Harvard do and what they're about. So that's essentially what I feel like JSU is definitely doing for their program. So other HBCUs, get it going, get it popping. I think FAM is on the way. I think FAM is in that realm too.
I mean, go ahead, Ron.
They just to piggyback off of Robin, like for me, I didn't grow up as like an HBCU family. None of my family members went to HBCU, but my dad will always take me to a South Carolina State football game. So like once that was like really my first college game, going to a South Carolina State football game. And like the thing that got me was I saw like 5 or 6 Hall of Famers, NFL Hall of Famers. And like once you walk underneath the bleachers, you see their names, you be like, oh snap. So I can go to HBCU and go to the NFL. And it's just that culture shock when you go there and you see the band, then you see the pageantry, then you see the girls, you be like, for you, Robin, you see the dude, you know. Exactly. So like when all that comes together, you be like, why not?
Yeah.
But why not? Yeah. And to you, Jerry, I think FAM is coming on that level. It's just where FAM is like a roller coaster. Like it has its highs and it has its lows, and we're really like a roller coaster. Like 1 minute we up, then next minute we hear some bad news, and the next minute we all the way up here, then the other minute we in the
it's really bad.
Then next minute, oh, it's homecoming, we lit. Then next minute, oh, no more football. Like, FAMU is really a roller coaster. We can't stay consistent. I feel like if we stay consistent and use all our resources that we can harness and that we can just by picking up a phone and being like, hey, blah, 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 this, blah, blah. All right. Like, we need to start doing that. Fam would be tough. Fam would be the way that people talk about Harvard and Yale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's so crazy. Speaking of that little roller coaster that fam is on right now. Let's just really get into Coach Pillow, FAMU women's basketball head coach. She came to Tallahassee about from like 2020 is when she got there, like 2020.
First of all, Robin,
what's going on? Robin,
Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now.
On a milk carton, dog.
On a milk carton.
Where are you?
What is going on? What is going on with Coach Pillow?
Like, no recruiting, no nothing. PSC, MIA. She must be partnered with Tupac in Dubai somewhere, because she
oh my God,
a damn thing.
Look, okay, so let's talk about it real quick. She's coming off of a 3-25 record from last year, and you would think that if someone came off of it's like one of two things. Either you're gonna bust your ass like every single day, you're doing something to improve what you're gonna do for the next year, like you said, Ron, recruiting, doing camps, getting on the phone, social media, whatever you need to do to pipe your team up. But it's not happening. So I'm almost like, okay, from an administrative point of view, is there something going to be going on with her tenure or her career at FAM? You know what I mean? Because it's like, let's think about it. If she were to do all of that work, if she were to do camps, if she were to do recruiting, and then boom, you out of there, like what's the point of all of that? Because then it's just going to shift to the next head coach. And let's be honest, we talked about how head coaches can come in and swipe all that out. You know what I mean? So to even avoid that process, I'm almost thinking like, is she on her way out? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, if she's not doing anything, like what? And there's stuff needs to be done. And she's also director of community outreach. Like, that's not even her sole purpose of FAMU is not just head coach. Like her other part of her position is director of community outreach. And I'm like, who you reaching to, sis? I don't know. So that's where I'm thinking of it. I don't know what if you guys kind of think the same way, or like, you know, what's going on, Jerry? What you got?
I'm like 100% agreeing with you. I think what she's doing, she's not community outreach, she's reaching out to Indeed. She's making applications, applying to new jobs, because she knows that 3-25 is not going to cut it. It is not going to cut it.
But she did so well. See, what I'm confused about is, didn't she do like a really great job under at MTSU? Like she was the assistant women's basketball coach at MTSU for like, I don't know, years. You know what I mean? And then she was a player herself. You know, so there's some experience. There is, well, you know, that doesn't mean anything. Sometimes you need that chance to grow and being that head coach, because depending on who you're working under, you may not even be able to get to your full potential as an assistant. So in that sense, it's like, okay, now you're in that role. You've been here for 2 years and you're not producing what we need you to produce. So I'm like, are they fed up?
What they doing?
Y'all, she fucking up everything. She a blind person in a museum, touching up everything. Fucking up the paintings, dropping the sculptures. She a blind person in the museum. She is really knocking over and touching everything.
Yeah.
And didn't sanitize her hands before she came.
And she played for Pat Summit. You gotta have some type
So my thing is this: impact. You played for Pat Summit. And you know what caliber of players that came through Tennessee. You meaning to tell me you can't bring some of these people that played on a Tennessee team that you played for, that you assistant, graduate assistant for. You can't tell me you can't bring somebody in to help somebody.
I see. That's what's weird to me. It's just, it doesn't seem right that it's like she's not doing anything. There's something more. There's something that we're missing there, for sure.
I'm gonna put it like this, man.
To be honest, it sounds like she got a whole lot of friends. That's what it sounds like.
Does she? Doing what? What's the conversation? What are these friends for?
She sound like she got a whole bunch of friends in high places. That's all I got.
Clearly.
No, listen, just because you on the team and you won with these people does not mean you were a star. Best believe Ilgauskas got a ring with LeBron, but he doesn't have the same pool as LeBron James.
That's true.
I mean, just because she played with him, I don't mean she got pulled. She could have been the last man on the bench. She could have been, a piece. Like, and if that's the case, your pool of your thinking is not as strong.
I will give Sis credit. It says, look, I'm reading this verbatim from her bio. It says Pillow was a 6'3" center, was a 4-year letter winner at Tennessee under legendary coach Pat Summitt. She played in 108 career games and helped the Lady Vols advance to four NCAA championships or tournaments, including 2 Final Four appearances and 4 SEC championships with a record of 125-12. So, when you have that in your bio, unless you just lying, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how people be like, oh yeah, that's my cousin, but you really like a family friend. You know what I mean? Maybe she's like that. I don't know, but it sounds like she has the experience athletically. She's done some things career-wise. That's why I'm just like, I'm not sold on she's just purposely like out here just not doing her job. There's something more.
Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and let y'all know from inside out.
Inside, tell us.
From inside out, it's a whole lot of stuff brewing with the girls' basketball team. No,
okay.
For my personal opinion, these girls are worried about TikTok and makeup and all this other stuff instead of playing ball. For my personal thing, they always trying to do a TikTok dance for a basketball game or after a basketball game.
Okay, but so does South Carolina.
I know, but
so does South Carolina though.
Everybody doing it.
But this is what I'm saying. If you out here TikToking and dancing, you better be dancing to that hoop.
That's on the coach.
Dancing to that hoop.
That's all.
Okay, so you're trying to say, okay, well, wait, no. I do hear Ron. There's some validity there because a coach can only do so much if their players are not buying into what you're coaching. Totally understand that. However, I feel like there is an element of, okay, coach, if you feel like something is not right, something is going wrong, then you need to either call in reinforcements, you need to reevaluate your squad, you need to cut some people if that's what it takes, because the head coach has that ability to cut anybody from a team that's not producing and not doing their athletic ability, in addition to their academics. So I do understand where you're coming from, Ron. It's like, okay, the players, they're not showing up, they're not doing what they need to do, but they're also not going to do that if they're not going to be reinforced or disciplined into that realm. And if they're not, then they need to be off the team. And I'm like, that's where I'm like, coach, what you doing? If you got, players that's not playing, like, how are you going? That is your job to fix that dynamic. That's her job, even if it's hard or impossible, so to speak. That is her job to make sure they're in line.
Robin, let me ask y'all two this. Have a coach ever gave up on y'all during the game?
No.
No.
Yes.
What do you mean? I need more
gymnastics, Jerry, football. Okay. We talking about college now. We're not talking about high school to learn to teach. We're talking about, like, have y'all coach gave up on y'all during a game, during the meet, have y'all coach just literally just gave up on y'all?
You mean like they left?
My experience?
No. Like they literally.
No, I know what you mean, right? Like they just threw up their hands.
They just put their hands up and did like this.
Yeah.
In college, no.
Why is
No.
she doing that at the games then? You in
I don't know.
the third quarter. Why are you giving up sitting down?
But see, but that goes back to our point, Ron, of like there's some accountability she needs to take for how they are acting. Like, just like how you said, perfect example. As a coach in the game, you should not be throwing up your hands and getting frustrated from a team that's just doing what they're doing based off of how you're leading them. And even if, let's give her some credit, let's say she is giving the best foot forward in practice or prior to the game, and just for whatever reason, they just don't connect in the game. There is an element of like, okay, what is she doing or lack thereof to help fix the situation? And that's where, like you said, Ron, you can't just throw up your hands in that. And that's what it seemed like. It just sounded like it from the latter part or really the entire season. There was, I don't really care about this anymore. I'm gonna just whatever they got, that's what they doing. So that's on her. Really, it's on really both. It's on both. There's, the athletes need to show up as well. But it's like when you're in the game and you can't be patient or swallow your pride and get your team together, that's on you. It's simple.
To me, it falls back on, they always throw the word around institution control. This is a team, being able to control your team. Like, what did Deion say when they were on their phone in the locker room? What did he say, Rod? Did anybody
Deion Sanders tells his players they will not play if they do not get off their phone. I just read it.
Stay off that phone.
Stay off that phone. If I catch one of you on the phone, your asses won't be playing.
Exactly. This applies to the same situation. If that's what's going on, if they're on their phone making TikToks, dog, they can't play. At this point, 3-23, if she pull a stunt like old girl at Grambling, everybody off the team, all y'all done. I'm not mad at her.
I'm not mad either.
But see, that's more justified though, Jerry, because of their record of 3-25. So right. I'm like, Grambling didn't even have that bad of a record, and she still was like, ah. But then also, what makes it even like more an advantage for Coach Pillow is that she has been there. See, Grambling coach was new. Yeah. So she came into the scene and wiped it out. Coach Pillow has been there. She's been recruiting. Like the freshman that she has currently is who she recruited, or the coaching staff that she has. So she is technically responsible for the people that's not producing. So right. I don't know. That's why I feel like she's probably gonna be on her way out at this point. If you're not doing it, she's been throwing up her hands during games. She's not doing anything to rectify the situation now and prepare for next season. Then what is there left to do but to leave?
Why is she there anyway? Like, if this is all going on, like
to be fairly honest with you, they should have kept the coach that they had, because it was a up towards directory from last season to the season the person did coach. So yeah. Fam got to work out that problem. They still got to find an AD, which we don't know nothing about. We ain't even heard the likely candidates for that position. So
we talking about coach. They ain't got no AD.
Exactly. Shoot.
They didn't even got nobody to hire them.
The blind leading the blind.
They ain't got no coach. They ain't got no AD. Peanut butter, no jelly.
Well, if we're going off the pattern of our FAMU athletics, this is where the roller coaster is down. So clearly our next set of news hopefully is going to be going up. Yeah. So let's just hope and pray that our FAMU athletics is just on the rise after this. We're getting close to football season. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be nice and cool. So I think we can hope for the best. But onto some football, actually. It is kind of like the synopsis of why NIL deals is so important for our HBCU athletes, just as much as any other athlete. And specifically, we are now seeing that some HBCU athletes are being signed for the first time to some of these companies. Specifically, Hampton football player Keyshawn Moore signs with WWE NIL deal. He's the first HBCU athlete ever to be signed with WWE. And this is a of course, our wrestling, company that is now, spectring out. They only have about, I think, maybe 20 athletes signed with them, or 30 actually, 30 athletes so far. So they are still kind of new. And 6 have graduated from the WWE. So their full class ranges from, cheer and dance athletes. They have football, track. There's a gymnast from University of Auburn that's on that roster. So it's really nice to kind of see the different diversity within all of the sports, but great to see how we have an HBCU representation with the WWE. And I just, foresee more athletes being signed to different companies, especially growing companies like this. Because I don't believe the WWE has been around as far as NIL deals or deals with athletes, so to speak, for a long time. So it's really nice to kind of see them being able to reach out to not just your traditional PWIs athletes, but also reach out to our HBCU athletes. So shout out to Keyshawn, linebacker from Hampton. So awesome. Love that.
Yeah. I really like this signing with NIL. From my knowledge, I know a lot of people that I've played with that have gone on, not necessarily to WWE, but have went to the route of wrestling because you already have the statue. We got 6'5", 330-pound guys playing football every day, and that's an easy route to go into. So it's like if Keyshawn has any type of interest in doing that, from my knowledge, he's 6'3", 240. He's not a small guy. So if he has an interest in doing that, after he go to the league, we looking for more players in the league. But after that, we know he can go into WWE and start doing things of that nature. So I like how we're kind of expanding the horizon of different type of businesses that are giving out NILs to our HBCU athletes.
Yeah.
Definitely. This is amazing as far as like the WWE concerned, because like I feel like they're a company that you would never think that would reach out and do different things that you see them do. Like
that is very, very true, Ron.
Like
I was just thinking about that when I saw that. I was like, WWE.
They kind of like beat people to the punch with stuff. Like Making a Wish. John Cena has the most Make-A-Wish out of any celebrity athlete that you can think of, and you never think that would be John Cena. You would think that'd be like LeBron James or somebody of that character, but John Cena is literally leading that way. You can literally, like, you can say from Ric Flair. Ric Flair is he's the most cultural white dude that all black people know. Like, if you see Ric Flair at your cookout, you're gonna say, "Woo, what's up, Ric Flair? What you drinking?" Like, you gonna welcome him in because like you literally saw him. You literally saw him grow up. We literally saw like The Rock's dad be the first WWE African American champion. So things like that going on in WWE, and now they're reaching out to HBCUs. That's literally amazing, And I'm pretty sure they're going to use that to make these athletes go into their facility and try to work them out and get them on TV, because that's what I see with it. It's just more publicity for the schools and more publicity for WWE. So Vince McMahon, his dad, they family gonna be rich forever. They know what they're doing.
Correct.
Shout out to Hampton, shout out to Moore, and shout out WWE, man, because everybody say it's fake. Once you get in that ring, trust me, it's come from a person that actually failed on that mat. It is not fake.
Not fail. When did you? When did you fail on the mat?
Because I used to do a little stuff back in the day, like back in the day. Yeah, and trust
you was in the WWE?
Not in the WWE. I was doing stuff in the ring.
It's
like based in Orlando, right? Is that the thing? Is that
okay? So the WWE, their other headquarters is based in Orlando. Their developmental headquarters is based in Orlando at Full Sail in Orlando, right down the street, literally from. I can literally go there and watch NXT or whatever. So that's where they're based at. and that's where they grow all their talent. So, like
Okay.
I said, the names of John Cena's, Batista's, Randy Orton's, and all them names, household names that you hear, they were once there, and I guess you could say in his feet or his shoes. So he may be the next John Cena, Booker T.
He may be, dog.
Maybe.
All right now.
They don't know The Rock played at Miami. They don't know
Yeah,
that.
The Rock
They forget that.
Yeah, The Rock played for the U, and he was really supposed to start until that man Warren Sapp came.
He's just out of there. But look at him now. Look at the path that he is on. Like, The Rock is really out here living life, thriving. So,
yes,
Yo.
XS,
any of those athletes on that roster, including
the highest
Keyshawn,
paid
y'all in the
black actor.
Yo,
The
Rock now played 30 of the same roles in different movies.
In different movies.
And I'm gonna watch it every time.
Yes. Louder for the people in the back.
He literally in every movie he gonna whoop somebody's ass. we already know what's gonna happen.
He gonna wear them tight
plaid shirt with them plaid pants. I said, "Oh yeah, I know what you about to do."
Plaid shirt, plaid pants, or in a collar, little polo. He always gonna be in there rescuing somebody, anybody. Child, that is funny, but yeah, that's an amazing thing, and I could just foresee them signing more and more athletes. HBCU specifically. So yeah, WWE is really on a roll. Good for them.
Definitely.
All right, it's schedule time. Ron, I'm gonna let you start it off with the Hampton football schedule of 2022. Very excited.
Okay, yeah. So if Hampton, you already know how they do. You already know how they go down. They're going down big this year. They is doing big this year. So first game. They got the classic game, the game that everybody want to go to, the game that your mama, P Diddy gonna be at probably, and everybody grandma. It's Hampton and Howard. That game is really gonna be a toss up. That's a 50-50 game.
It is, because it went into overtime, I do believe, last year.
Yeah.
It was like 44. Yeah, I just had it 44-47 last year. Oh no, actually no, they won. They ended up winning against Howard. It was 48-32. Yeah. They won against Howard. So
nice
to see that again.
Howard got some bad blood. Them cheerleaders really go at it at that game. It's all about,
I love that.
I ain't never saw a group of cheerleaders go at it at a game like they do. Like they hey, if you ain't watching that cheerleader battle, you ain't really into the game. Just be honest with you. You ain't really into the game. I'm gonna have to go with my Howard people. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to go with that game just because of the bad blood last year. They losing overtime. Next week they play Tuskegee University. Now that game, they should win that game. Just to be honest with you, because Tuskegee, I don't think they're there yet. But in the coming up years, I think they'll be getting there. Getting there. They're gonna put up a fight, but they ain't gonna win, Jerry. They ain't gonna win because I saw your face. I already know. So next game they play Norfolk State. That's gonna be a tough game against Norfolk, and it's at Norfolk. So I can see them. I could probably see them coming out close win at Norfolk.
Yeah.
So next game is Delaware. Yeah, I think they're gonna get an L. Yeah, I ain't gonna try.
Moving on to Maine.
They're gonna get an L.
Really moving.
Okay.
Really moving
Maine. Yeah, they're gonna get an L. Albany.
Albany.
Yeah, they gonna get an L. Richmond. Yeah. Yeah, they gonna get
They gonna get
it.
All these L's, you're just passing out.
William and Mary. What's that? Hold on.
Come on now. Don't do them like that now.
Who they is that their homecoming?
Villanova?
No, I skipped Villanova. Oh yeah, they're gonna get an L with Villanova. My bad.
Villanova football.
Who their homecoming?
You laughing at me, right?
He said Villanova got
Football team.
They do have it, but no, their homecoming will be. Let's see.
Don't stay on their scale. I'm looking on their thing.
I don't know. They didn't specify which one is gonna be.
Yeah.
No, let me see. Hampton homecoming. Let's see what they got on the Google.
Who is that?
It says whoever they're playing on the weekend of the 23rd.
23rd.
Who's that?
That's Richmond.
So the 22nd. So Richmond, University of Richmond.
Boy, they should have scheduled somebody else.
Them boys, from what I know, because one of my coaches actually coaches. Well, I don't know if he's still there, but he was there for a while, and they were pretty good.
Yeah. Who, Richmond?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even. Yeah, they probably only win 3 games this year.
So, but be like last year.
Yeah, they're gonna be like last year. Yeah.
Well, last year they were 5 and 6. Don't do them like that.
Yeah.
They were 5 and 6. Stop.
They may beat Elon and Tulsa. They may win out their last 2 games. They may win out their last 2 games.
So I'm talking about conference wins, Rob. You talking about overall? I'm talking about conference.
Oh, my baby dog.
Yeah.
Well, they're also in a new conference. This is their first time playing in CAA, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be their first year in CAA because they were in Big South last year.
Yep.
They were in Big South last year.
Yep.
They're just moving on. Whoever can get beat by this year.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, knowing that you're moving into it, because I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't know all of these teams. So the way I'm gonna look at it is they're definitely going to, play their hearts out with a Howard, a Norfolk, you know what I'm saying? I'll even throw William and Mary in there. But I will say, I think if they're doing their job right, they're going to properly prepare and try to at least for this new conference. Now, that doesn't mean that they're just going to come out swinging and just going to be like giving all these upsets. But I do feel like because they've had this second shift, that they may be able to get a little bit more competitive with these other FCS teams. That's how I would say it. Because I don't really know. I don't follow these other teams because some of these teams I ain't never heard of before. So I'm like, I don't know what y'all got going on, but I can vouch to say, or at least try to advocate, that Hampton is going to try to put a better foot forward this year than they did last year. Because I feel like last year was like an abrupt jump considering COVID. Now can't use COVID anymore as an excuse. Now we're back into playing. So I feel like now is going to be a little bit better for them to have more of a consistency without their schedule. So that's how I'm going to look at it.
I mean, for me, when you move conferences, I'm thinking about from a coaching aspect. It's a lot of film. Each team, you got to look at new film that you've never studied before.
Yeah.
You never have played a lot of these teams. And this, like each week, I feel like you're the new guy on the block. So it's kind of like you're almost getting picked on. Like, you knew it. We've been here. You come to our conference. We're going to show you what's up. Kind of like what they went through, at their previous stops. But from what I see, like, I think like Howard, I think they're going to beat Howard again, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to my Tuskegee boys, Tuskegee, they haven't had some down years, but I just know that they have a pretty good program overall. And I think they're going to kind of take them lightly because they're a Division II program. And I think Tuskegee might come out with that win. Or either that or it'll be a hard-fought game because don't forget last year, Tuskegee, they got into it a good dog fight with Alabama A&M.
Yeah, they did.
I think it was 45-35, something like that. So it was a competitive game. So I think the same thing will happen here. A&M is better than Hampton. So I think this Tuskegee team may give them a run for their money. Norfolk State, we're back on the L list. Delaware State, another L.
Back on the L list.
Albany, I don't know. Albany, I think they. I don't know. I always like Albany as a program. They got a pretty good coaching staff that if they're still there that I know of. But I think they might beat Albany. Richmond, they're gonna lose. Villanova, haven't heard of that program, but it is.
Didn't even know they had a program.
Didn't know. So that's a toss up. That is a question mark. They go either way. William and Mary, I think they're gonna beat them. Elon, I think they're gonna lose Elon. Honestly, Elon, they got a couple guys that go to the league every year that are pretty good. They're signed as free agents a lot, but they're pretty good. I think the quarterback from the Panthers that just signed with them, he's from Elon. So Davis Cheek or Derek Cheek, something like that. But yeah, they're gonna win about 3-4 games at the most. Nothing more than that.
Respect.
Robert just going down wins and losses. just name them.
Name them. Okay, I got you.
How you feeling your heart?
All right. It's just gonna be a rapid fire. All right. I say Howard dub, Tuskegee dub, Norfolk L, Delaware L, Maine dub, Albany L, Richmond L, Villanova dub, William and Mary. I say, overtime dub, Elon L, Townsend L.
I love it. I love it. Shoot. I love it. So we can all attest to they're probably gonna win 4 games this season.
Yeah, I gave him 6. That was 6.
You see, so 6. So we just gonna round about. So we gonna say 5. We
don't even know about Villanova.
As a core, we're going to say 5.
Let's do 5. Yeah, I like that. That's a stop it, Jerry.
I'm gonna roll the dice on it, and I'm gonna say they may win 1 more. So
okay,
I'm gonna say 5.
I say roll of the dice, they're gonna win. So they get about 5 wins this year. We ain't looking for them to do too much, but we're looking for them to win a couple. Just a couple.
That's pretty good. I mean, you got an overtime win, so it'd be all right then. That's a lot of momentum. So I'll take that. Exactly.
We ain't looking for them to do nothing crazy. We just looking at them to survive. Survive.
Just survive. This is a new conference, new opportunities, learning experiences. Hello.
Yeah.
All right, Mississippi Valley. I feel like they're going to be better this year. They were 3-5 conference last year. I do believe they may have a little bit under their belt. Did they get a new coach? Did they get a new coach? Or am I tripping? Did Mississippi Valley get a new coach? I don't know. If they did, fantastic. If they didn't, get it together, because here we go. Swag is not playing. They got like a decent schedule. Like, I feel like they're now getting a little bit more diverse. They're going to be playing a school. I don't know where Tarleton is. Y'all know what that is? I don't know. What Tarleton is.
That's in the country.
Yeah,
it's in Texas. Never heard of it, but hey, could be a dub there. I think I'm gonna do my list first, y'all. So I think dub for Tarleton. I think they could easily get a dud with Austin Peay. Like, I feel like, no, I'm serious. I think they can get a dub with Austin Peay. I mean, they gave fam a run for their money last year. Like, it was 28-31. Let's be honest. Come on now. Okay. And I feel like, they can get it in. Delta State. I don't know too much about Delta State. What it's L? It's L to Justice? Okay. Delta got
the L.
Okay. Oh, Delta got the L. I was about to say, I feel like they're smaller program.
They should win.
So dub to Delta State, L to Jackson State, L to Florida A&M. Alcorn, I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna do a overtime dub. I actually think they're gonna take an L to Alabama State, actually. They can get a dub to Bethune. I feel like they can do that. I think an L to Alabama A&M. I think an L to Southern, and I think a dub to Prairie View. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. That's what I'm rocking with.
So,
Okay.
to me, Tarleton State. I think they went 5-3 last year. Not a bad team. I think they can definitely beat Mississippi Valley. So that's a L. Austin PA. That's a L.
They are in Texas.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Everything.
said Austin PL?
Yeah.
Stop playing. No. Watch they gonna get a W. Y'all owe me $5.
Them boys, they play pretty sound football. Like they don't make a
Yeah.
lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And that conference is decent. It's an average conference, but they don't make a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was 6-5 last year. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Delta State. I think they might actually beat Delta State. I think they're gonna beat Delta State. Jack State, of course, L. FAMU, L. Alcorn. I think that's gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah.
This is overtime L for me.
I said
Alabama
overtime
State,
W.
right? Alabama State. I think they'll probably beat them. Bethune. I don't think they're gonna beat.
It's
Bethune.
homecoming, by the way. Bethune is homecoming. So not that really matters, but sometimes you add a little push for the homecoming. Just
And
a
add a
little
little
razzle dazzle.
before the game.
Okay. All right.
Turn up.
Here it is.
I know how that
I don't
goes.
want to talk about it.
Bethune, like I say, L. I mean, I got them scheduled for homecoming, but I done lost the homecoming game before to a team that had
true.
a game.
That's true. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Alabama A&M, L. My coaches down there, they gonna turn up. That's my boys. Southern L, Prairie View, another L. So I got.
I think you said 3.
Yeah, I got 3.
Actually.
Wow.
I think you said 3.
And I thought
That's
I was
sad.
gonna give them a little bit more.
No.
3.
No, don't go back. No. You said it with your chest. Actually, talk about some overtime L.
I didn't say that.
Well. Tarleton. Yeah, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get an L straight out the turnpike. They getting the L right off the ramp. Getting the L. St. Pete. They see the highway trooper. They getting that L because they came off the turnpike speeding, boy. So they already get 2 L's coming off the 2-lane road going to a highway. Then they slow down on Delta State. You already know they'll say, okay, the state trooper ain't no more. So we gonna kind of speed up. They're gonna get that win against Delta. Then they play Coach Prime and them boys. But guess they playing at Jackson, Mississippi. So you already know it's straight from the Jack. Don't know how to act. Jackson gonna win that game. Sure. Then they come. So we brag different. You already know it's going to be an L going to Tallahassee, Florida. So you already know this Alcorn game. I honestly, in my honest opinion, I think they're going to beat Alcorn because they're playing at their stadium. They stadium have ditches and stuff you ain't even know they had on their field. You're Robin.
Start with a D. Ditches.
Okay, thank you.
Ditches.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jared. But yeah, Robin, if you played on that field, if you even tried to do a front flip on that field, Robin, you'll break your ankle.
I'll take your word for it. I'm good on that.
Flip. It ain't gonna turn back.
Yeah,
I'm good on that.
So I give them a W facing Alcorn. Alabama State, I'm gonna have to give them that L, man. I feel like Alabama State gonna be a good team this year. I think they're gonna be well coached by the real estate agent. The real estate agent gonna do his job. He been recruiting his butt off, and I think he's gonna do good.
I said that. I think that he's gonna whip them boys into shape.
Yeah. Then we got homecoming, Bethune-Cookman. This is gonna be a wide game for me because like Bethune-Cookman is coming. They coming back with everything, and they got a new quarterback. They got a whole bunch of athletes. I feel like I really feel like Bethune is going to win this game. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter. It's going to come down to it's going to come down to whoever has the ball. Whoever has the ball last is going to win that game. But I'm gonna say Bethune is going to win that game, even though I don't like them. I shouldn't even say that. Alabama A&M, that's an L. Yeah, that's an L. They're a defensive team, so I know they ain't gonna let that happen. Southern, they're gonna run. Southern gonna run all over them boys. Yeah, they're gonna. And
they've done it before, they'll do it again. I'm sure.
Yeah, Prairie View, they're gonna beat Prairie View. So what? I'm at like 4 wins.
That's what I was trying to get to 4 myself, man.
Yeah,
4 wins. I think I did 4 too. I think 4 or 5. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna beat Prairie View too.
Yeah, they looking like they're gonna be back at the bottom of the SWAC again. I mean, it is what it is. They may surprise us with a couple of games, but I really don't see them, doing that spectacular.
I don't know, man. I think it's hard to get a lot of recruits to Mississippi Valley, man, to be honest.
And I think they don't get the same amount of scholarships that the other SWAC teams do. I got to look into that too.
For what reason?
From what I'm hearing, I don't think they get the same amount. From what I heard.
Why is that?
I got to go. I can ask Scotty. Scott Offscript would really know about that. I heard it plenty of times on the show. They don't get the same amount of scholarships as the other schools do. I have to go back and see. It may just be of the state of Mississippi, but I have to really just go back and see what's what. So that's another thing.
That sounds like a funding thing.
That too.
I mean, I can see that. Mississippi Valley, dog. If I'm getting recruited, dog, and I hear your school, Mississippi Valley, I don't want to go play in Mississippi, dog. Unless it's for
okay. But wait. Let's be honest here. When you're thinking about, granted, it is Mississippi Valley, it's an HBCU, it's damn near in the middle of nowhere. Inabena is the name of the city. Inabena. There's elements of like, could it be difficult to recruit? But I'm also thinking of like, our D2, D3 athletes that potentially don't want to go as far. Like if they're D2, D3, kind of like in that realm of athleticism, but don't want to go out, like my closest bet is going to closer to home. If I'm not going to get picked up at JSU, now that JSU is on that rise because of Coach Prime, they clearly not going to go to Ole Miss. They clearly not going to go to Mississippi State, right? Southern Miss could be a hit or miss as well, but even they are kind of on a higher caliber, then I'm going to be more inclined to go to a Mississippi Valley State, just looking at it from that perspective. But with that being said, when you're having like maybe a lower tier as far as athleticism for these athletes, then it is harder for you to be competitive within like the SWAC. Now they're getting bigger and better. So I don't know. I don't think necessarily the numbers are an issue for them. I think it's more so talent. I think that's harder. I don't know if it's necessarily they not just getting people, because I think they have a plethora of people. I think it's just more so who are they getting and how are they able to get more top tier athletes, I think is the way that I would kind of explain it. I don't know if that's what you were kind of saying, Jerry, as well, to kind of piggyback off of that, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that's kind of like where they could be a little bit more, innovative on how they're recruiting. Like, maybe just maybe it's a marketing thing. Maybe it is just more so they're doing the same thing every single time, that they need to maybe think about other things to kind of, encourage for them for the school, whether they, reach out to more of the academic side, getting them on board, getting more support from the community, stuff like that can always make an impact for a recruit coming in. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
My thing is this, Robin, just to piggyback off, you got one of the greatest receivers that ever graced the field that went to that school. Jerry Rice.
Yep.
You got one of the greatest.
But see, that's my point. Like, we need more of that. Like, hey, Jerry Rice went here. let's get him back. Let's, like, you know what I'm saying? Let's have him at a camp, whatever, like, that needs to happen so that they can get a more be at more of an advantage for getting those top tier recruits there. Like, that's a good point. Cause like, just like JSU got Coach Prime, like, would JSU be where they are without Coach Prime?
No.
Nah, they would.
No.
They still be scratching their head trying to get out that pothole.
Yep.
You know, and then again, what these 5-star recruits, you know what I'm saying? Like Travis Hunter, like, come on. I think there's that type of element, like you said, Ron, that needs to be there, you know, they have an example. Clearly he was an amazing athlete coming from Mississippi Valley State. It's easy to see the results, but it's the process I feel like they need help with. I feel like the same way about Prairie View.
Mm-hmm.
Their process is kind of like, y'all need a little help. Yeah.
I feel like, but I don't know, like, to me, thinking about Prairie View, you in Texas, you know, everybody wants to move to Houston, move to Dallas. You in a good area, like.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you got the like you got the demographic area.
Yeah.
So that's a recruiting standpoint. You know, everybody come to the visit for vacation, like come here for school and live here. Like, I think that's a recruiting point. You don't have that recruiting point in Mississippi Valley. That's what that's how I feel.
No, that's a good point, because that's just a huge recruiting pool just within the state, like anywhere else, like just within the state. So that's true. Yeah,
definitely. But guys, that wrap up the show, man. Thank y'all for tuning in with us. Make sure y'all follow, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all share, make sure y'all do all this other stuff that I'm telling y'all to do that y'all probably won't do, but I'm gonna keep telling y'all because I'm
do it anyway.
Do it anyway, god dang it. Because you're gonna be on your phone all day. You're gonna talk to 4, 5, 6 people all day. I know you talk to a brother or a sister on your way going to work or on your way just doing whatever you're gonna do. I know you be on IG, I know you be on Instagram, definitely know you be on YouTube. So, you know, just go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, and you know, do us a favor by doing us a favor. You know? And
do us a favor by doing us a favor. That is a word. That is a proverb. I have a Twitter. I tweeted.
Exactly. So you know, but we love y'all. Please keep subscribing. Please keep watching. Please keep sharing. I like to give these 2 lovely people flowers. You know, thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Robin, for everything that y'all done. And you know, I really appreciate y'all. You know, y'all my little fan, y'all my little internet family, because you know, I know we don't see each other every day, but y'all my YouTube family. So thank y'all.
Hey, Ron. Get emotional here, man.
Yeah. And y'all, this is a pre-snap read, and we out.
All right.
Peace.
All right. Happy Juneteenth.
Cool.
Make sure you follow the pre-snap read on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe to make this page grow. I see y'all. I'm out.